Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves. Because what just unfolded in the Bieber, Selena, Hailey saga is not just drama, it is absolute chaos. Imagine this: on the very day Selena Gomez exchanged vows with her new love, Benny Blanco, reports erupted that Justin Bieber collapsed into a mysterious medical crisis. The timing? Too perfect. Too eerie. And far too explosive for fans to ignore. But here is where the internet split in half. In the days before the wedding, Justin's social media did not look like the carefree, newlywed pop star image he once flaunted. No. It looked like a battlefield. Disturbing cryptic posts, unnerving religious quotes, and strange ramblings that had fans whispering, "Is Justin unraveling again?" People close to him claim it was not just harmless online noise. This was the sound of a man spiraling. And then, the plot thickens. Because while Justin was allegedly suffering behind closed doors, Hailey Bieber was cracking too. Rumors are swirling that she was consumed by jealousy, haunted by her husband's inability to let go of his obsession with Selena Gomez. Did Justin's breakdown drive Hailey to the edge? Or did Selena's wedding rip open wounds in their marriage that the public has never seen before? Fans are already asking the question that nobody dared to say out loud: is this the beginning of the end for Justin and Hailey? And if you think that is the peak of this drama, you are wrong. Because fans were convinced Justin had made peace. He even publicly liked Selena's engagement post, which tricked everyone into believing the storm had finally calmed. But beneath the surface? Chaos was brewing. Deep, festering chaos. Let us talk about those cryptic posts. One of them read, "We can demolish every deceptive fantasy that opposes God, every arrogant attitude that defies the truth." Another warned about strongholds of human reasoning and false arguments. Now, maybe these are just faith-driven reflections. But fans did not see prayer in those words, they saw a broken man screaming through the cracks of his Instagram captions. The theories spread like wildfire. Was Justin desperately signaling his heartbreak as Selena made it official with Benny? Was this a silent cry for help? Or was it guilt? Guilt from marrying Hailey while his heart still burned for Selena? Let us not forget the infamous reports that Justin allegedly called Selena 23 times on the very day he married Hailey. 23. That detail alone still haunts Selena fans to this day. So when Justin started posting those cryptic warnings, fans braced for impact. They expected a meltdown, a tirade, maybe even a public declaration on the wedding day itself. One fan tweeted, "Hailey, girl, just take Justin's phone tonight. It is going to be a very long weekend." That single post went viral, because everyone knew exactly what they were thinking. And now? The story has detonated into something much darker: a medical scare, a jealous wife, a pop star allegedly unable to let go of his past, and a wedding that has reignited a love triangle the world thought was buried years ago. This is not just gossip. This is a public unraveling, a tragedy unfolding in real time on the world stage. Viewers, buckle in, because this story is about to take a turn darker than anyone expected. For weeks, fans speculated that Justin Bieber would implode publicly on the day of Selena Gomez's wedding. But what actually happened behind the scenes was far more disturbing. Instead of posting, instead of tweeting, instead of lashing out online, Justin disappeared. And the silence was deafening. Fans joked that maybe Hailey had literally taken his phone away, locking him out of social media to protect her reputation. But the truth, according to insiders, is infinitely worse. Multiple sources claim that Justin was so emotionally shattered on the very day Selena tied the knot, he had to be rushed to the hospital. Imagine that, while his ex walked down the aisle with another man, Justin was allegedly breaking down in such violent turmoil that he crashed out on everyone around him. Screaming. Throwing things. Ranting that Selena was the one who got away, and that he had just lost the true love of his life. Now, pause for a moment. Imagine being Hailey Bieber. Imagine hearing your husband confess, not in whispers, but in a full meltdown, that he believed he just lost the woman he was truly meant to be with. This is not just jealousy fuel. This is devastation. And many believe Hailey saw this coming, because Justin has a pattern: every time Selena's name surfaces, his world seems to spiral. And then came the blind items. Oh yes, the internet's most infamous rumor mill did not hold back. Reports alleged that Justin had been drinking heavily for weeks leading up to the wedding, supposedly pushed along by none other than his friend, Kendall Jenner. And if that is true, it is a bombshell, because Kendall and Hailey's friendship was once described as unbreakable, more like sisters than besties. They shared clothes, secrets, and the spotlight. But according to blinds, Kendall choosing to party with Justin, allegedly fueling his downward spiral, may have been the dagger in their friendship. The so-called sisters reportedly fell out hard, leaving Hailey both betrayed and humiliated. And the blinds did not stop there. Another claimed Justin was spotted drunk in public, so wasted he could barely keep his eyes open in the middle of the day. Fans were horrified. "This is not the picture of a man happily married," one viral tweet read. "This is the picture of someone still haunted by his past." But here is where the plot thickens into a full-blown scandal. Insiders allege that just before Selena's engagement, Justin had been texting her privately. Yes, texting Selena. Trash-talking Hailey. Whispering complaints about his marriage while painting himself as misunderstood. According to one source, Selena kept her distance, not wanting to rekindle old wounds, but she allegedly told friends that Justin's behavior was sad. Selena, apparently, wanted no part in this mess. She has moved on. But the revelation that Justin had been texting her in secret? That Hailey had no idea? That is a betrayal that cuts deep. And then there is Hailey herself. Behind the flawless Instagram filters, behind the polished public image, insiders claim she is unraveling too. Rumors swirl that she believes Selena deliberately scheduled her wedding to upstage Hailey's. Think about it, Selena married just 3 days before Justin and Hailey's anniversary. Which means every year, whenever fans mention Justin and Hailey's wedding, Selena's name will also dominate the conversation. Coincidence? Hailey does not think so. And here is the kicker, Selena's wedding planner was Mindy Weiss, the same wedding planner who organized Justin and Hailey's ceremony in 2018. To Hailey, this felt like a calculated jab, another reminder that Selena's presence in their marriage is inescapable. Now, whether that is true or not, one thing is clear. Hailey allegedly feels like she is fighting an impossible battle. After 7 years of marriage, she is still wrestling with the insecurity that no matter how hard she tries, she will never truly be enough for Justin. And looking back at some of Justin's awkward public comments, dismissive body language, and now these explosive rumors, it is not hard to see why she feels that way. So, what do we have here? A husband allegedly hospitalized over his ex. A wife spiraling in insecurity. A broken friendship with Kendall Jenner. And a love triangle that refuses to stay buried even after vows, rings, and years have passed. This is not just drama. This is betrayal. This is obsession. And it may be the slow-motion collapse of a marriage the world thought was unshakable. Now, let us get one thing straight. Nobody is saying Justin Bieber is the worst husband in the world. But when you look at the evidence, when you look at how he actually treats Hailey, it paints a picture that is hard to ignore. Fans are not imagining this, they are convinced that deep down, Justin might actually resent Hailey. Because the pattern of disrespect is just too loud to overlook. Take the time Hailey was defending him on Instagram while he opened up about his Lyme disease. Instead of thanking her, instead of even acknowledging her kindness, Justin snapped at her. Publicly. Rude. Cold. Embarrassing. The one moment where a husband should have leaned on his wife as his support system, he turned it into another scene of tension. And fans saw it. They never forgot it. But that was not even the worst. Because the cameras have caught something darker, moments of public humiliation that cannot be explained away. Remember the car incident? Paparazzi flashing everywhere, fans screaming, the world watching. Hailey is right there by his side, but what does Justin do? He slams the car door shut in her face. He storms off. He does not wait. He does not glance back. He does not even slow down to let her walk in with him like a partner, like a wife, like a human being. And sure, his defenders said maybe he thought she would exit from the other side. Fine. But what about the part where he never went back to check on her? What about the part where he walked into that event alone, leaving her behind? At some point, excuses stop working. At some point, the truth is just too obvious, he did not care enough to look back. And then, the skateboard incident. This one still sends shockwaves. Justin and Hailey, trapped in a crowd of fans. It is chaos, screaming, grabbing, pushing. The kind of crowd that could genuinely harm someone. And in that moment, what should a husband do? Shield his wife. Hold her hand. Keep her close. That is the bare minimum of love. The bare minimum of partnership. But Justin? He chose himself. He grabbed his skateboard and rolled away. Yes. He literally skated off while Hailey was left alone in a mob. Fans shoved her, paparazzi cameras blinded her, strangers reached out to grab her. She tripped. She fell. And the symbolism of that fall, it was haunting. Because it was not just Hailey stumbling on the sidewalk. It was Hailey stumbling in her marriage. It was Hailey falling in public while her husband, her supposed protector, did not even look back. Not once. And the world noticed. Oh, they noticed. Clips of that moment exploded online. Headlines blasted it everywhere. Millions watched the footage frame by frame. On one side, a woman struggling, desperate for support. On the other, a husband gliding away on 4 wheels like she did not exist. Fans begged for an explanation, but what could possibly explain that instinct? Because love is not proven in words, it is proven in instincts. And his instinct was to escape. Hers was to survive. And that is the part that cuts the deepest. When the cameras captured that scene, they captured more than just a stumble. They captured the truth people had been whispering about for years, that the love between Justin and Hailey may not be as strong as it looks on Instagram. That when chaos erupts, his first thought is not her safety, it is his escape. And if that is how he treats her in public, in front of the entire world, what does that say about their private life? What does that say about their bond as husband and wife? And perhaps the most terrifying question of all, what does that say about him now that he is a father? Justin, let me spell it out for you. You are not just a global superstar anymore. You are a husband. You are a father. That role demands more than fame, more than money, more than the illusion of perfection. It demands instinct, protection, presence. And yet, the pattern we keep seeing tells another story. If you cannot show up for your wife when the cameras are flashing, when the crowd is pressing in, when the moment is screaming for you to step up, then when do you ever show up? If the instinct to protect is not there when the whole world is watching, how can anyone believe it exists in the silence of closed doors? These are not slip-ups. These are not clumsy mistakes that fans can sweep under the rug. They are patterns. And patterns always tell the truth. Over and over again, Justin's actions betray his words. He can flood Instagram captions with "my love" and "my person" all he wants, but actions will always scream louder than curated hashtags. And right now, his actions scream neglect. And speaking of Instagram, let us talk about those infamous live streams. The very moments meant to show fans intimacy and playfulness. The chance to prove their bond is real. But instead of tenderness, fans witnessed awkwardness, raw, uncomfortable tension. Justin constantly interrupts her, corrects her, dismisses her mid-sentence. Not with love. Not with playfulness. With a sting that cuts deeper than 1,000 memes. He throws out little jabs knowing they will go viral, knowing the internet will roast her, knowing she will once again be the butt of every TikTok commentary. And the cruelest part? You can see the humiliation in her eyes. The forced smile. The awkward laugh. The glance down to hide her pain. Micro-expressions that no PR spin can cover. She knows she is being undermined in real time. She knows the internet is capturing every frame. And yet she swallows it. She plays along. Because what else can she do when the world is watching her husband make her small? That is what makes this so haunting. Hailey is not just a background extra in Justin's movie. She is his wife. The woman who vowed to carry the weight with him. The one who defends him against relentless hate, who insists their love is real, who sacrifices her own peace to convince the world that their marriage is strong. And yet time after time, when the spotlight shines, the cracks appear. The imbalance shows. The love feels one-sided. And the fairy tale they try to sell turns into something darker, something lonelier. Something that makes fans wonder, is she stuck in a marriage where she gives everything and receives only fragments in return? And here is the cruel irony. For years, critics accused Hailey of marrying for clout, of chasing fame, of living in Justin's shadow to boost her name. But when you look closely at the evidence, the slammed car door, the skateboard escape, the cold live streams, this does not look like a woman basking in fame. It looks like a woman surviving it. Trapped inside someone else's storm. Trying to hold her dignity while the man who vowed to be her anchor skates away, literally and figuratively. When you put all these clips together, every slam, every escape, every dismissive glance, the theme is impossible to ignore. Neglect. Dismissal. A lack of instinct to love and protect. And that theme cannot be excused with "he was tired, he did not notice," or "he thought she was fine." Because here is the truth, love notices. Love does not get too tired. Love does not assume. Love protects. Always. And here is the thing, fans are not blind. They see the patterns. They analyze the footage. They dissect every live stream, every paparazzi clip, every careless word. Some still defend him, clinging to nostalgia, clinging to the teenage idol whose posters once plastered their bedroom walls. They whisper excuses, he's misunderstood. He's broken. Fame ruined him. But others? They are asking the harder questions now. They are wondering if this is not trauma, not pressure, not misunderstanding, but simply who Justin Bieber really is when the cameras are not rolling. And if that is the case, what does that mean for Hailey? What does that mean for their marriage? And perhaps most terrifying of all, what does that mean for the child they are raising together? Because children do not learn love through captions or apologies. They learn by watching. By seeing how a father treats a mother. By noticing the tone, the respect, or lack thereof, in everyday life. If the clips we have seen, the slammed doors, the skateboard escapes, the live stream humiliations, are even a fraction of what happens behind closed doors, then the lessons being taught in that household may be lessons of neglect, not love. Which leads us to the bigger question, how long can this go on before the facade collapses completely? How many more public embarrassments, how many dismissive smirks, how many careless comments before fans stop buying the fairy tale? Because at some point, the receipts outweigh the captions. At some point, actions outweigh PR statements. And at some point, the world will stop asking, is this just a mistake, and start saying, this is who he is. And when that shift happens, it will not just be Justin's reputation on trial. Hailey's name will burn with it. Because she is the one defending him. She is the one selling the love story. And if that story keeps unraveling in public, the ending will not be a happily ever after. It will be tragic. And if you want proof of that pattern, look no further than the infamous live stream where Justin practically announced to the entire world that the only reason he was still with Hailey was because of her body. He laughed as he said it, "If you weren't so hot, I would have gotten rid of you a long time ago." The words cut deeper than any tabloid headline. Hailey's face told the story, hurt, humiliated, exposed. And yet Justin? He smirked, looking pleased with himself, as though he had delivered the punchline of some cruel joke. Fans were outraged. They flooded social media, slamming him for being insensitive and cruel. But for Yelena fans, those words became ammunition. They claimed it was proof that Justin never truly loved Hailey, that he was trapped in a marriage he did not want. And Hailey? She bore the brunt of the hate. Again. Dragged online, bullied by millions, all because of a careless comment her husband never needed to make. And it did not stop there. Another live stream showed Justin snapping at Hailey in an arcade, scolding her because she had the audacity to score higher than him. Yes. He could not handle his wife beating him at a game, so he lashed out. On camera. In front of millions. This was not the portrait of love. This was a portrait of insecurity, dominance, and control. And fans cannot help but compare. Because when Justin was with Selena, he played the perfect gentleman. He opened doors. He doted on her. He performed the role of a devoted boyfriend with ease. But with Hailey? The footage paints a different story, a harsher one. And when Justin himself once hinted that he had been manipulated by Hailey and her father into marrying her, it only poured gasoline on the fire. Fans began to wonder, if the foundation of this marriage was manipulation and control, how can it ever survive? And just when it seemed like they were crawling past the scandals, Selena's wedding reignited everything. Now Hailey is back in caretaker mode, nursing Justin through yet another alleged breakdown, while silently wondering if she is the reason he is broken in the first place. Here is the cruel reality: after years of blinds, rumors, and whispered scandals, Justin still cannot seem to let go of Selena Gomez. No matter how many vows he makes, no matter how many anniversaries he celebrates, his obsession with the past lingers like a shadow over every step of his marriage. So yes, Selena may have walked down the aisle. She may have sealed her future with Benny Blanco. But Justin and Hailey? They are still trapped in the wreckage of a love triangle that refuses to die. And the question that now hangs in the air, one that fans cannot stop asking, is this: how much longer can Hailey hold on before the whole thing explodes? Because if Justin cannot bury his obsession with Selena, then this marriage may not survive the next scandal. And judging by how messy this has already become, we are only scratching the surface of this storm. This chapter in the Bieber, Selena, Hailey saga? It is spiraling faster than anyone expected, and the wreckage is only getting